Right, we're live. Welcome,
We are
gentlemen.
live indeed. I'm just waiting to go live on Insta.
Technical difficulties behind the scenes with all of this stuff. I saw a video of, maybe I sent it to you. There was a clip of Clavicular saying that being a streamer is harder than being a soldier. He said, I'd rather be on the front line in a war than be a streamer. It's much more difficult being a streamer than being a military guy in action.
What's your view on that?
Well, it's quite funny. I mean, it's obvious. I mean, look, he's sitting in some not quite nice apartment in Miami, sitting in front of his computer, talking to people about hitting your face. I mean, I probably, on average, better than getting decapitated on a muddy battlefield somewhere.
He's done quite well as basically a relevant 20-year-old to actually get people talking about him, because as we 20, you just don't know shit about life as a man.
Yeah.
But he seems to be unaware enough to just say quite outrageous things without any kind of. He doesn't even look like he's doing it playfully. It's just quite blatant, isn't it? And people seem to be a bit just kind of stunned because there's no social kind of decorum to it.
Well, he might be a little bit on the spectrum, and so he just says whatever comes to mind, and
well,
it's actually quite entertaining. But
that's it. That's exactly it. So today's topic is why dating apps are destroying men's self-respect. We've got a number of points we're going to go through, but as usual, we may spiral off on a tangent. No parish notices for today, then. We'll see if people have been listening.
Indeed.
Send us an email if you need us in Brazil or elsewhere. But number one on the list, you're reduced to a commodity. Apps turn men into swipeable products. When attraction is judged in 0.5 seconds, your depth, presence, and masculinity never enter the chat. It's all about how you look. And I mean, we've got our own experiences from. Have you ever been on a Tinder date? Presumably you have.
Oh, yeah. I was on it quite a lot. I mean, this was quite a long time ago now, though. But yeah, I was on it a lot. I mean, there was one girl I dated for. I ended up dating her, seeing her for a year, right? I met off Tinder. I met, quite a lot. But that was, God, when was it? At least 10 years ago, probably more than 10 years ago, 15 years ago.
I think I had 3 dates with women who actually looked like as good as their profile pictures or slightly less good, but only 3 out of about 60 Tinder dates I ever went on. It's just not up to scratch, really.
Well, that is a big problem, actually, what they're actually like. And you can spend ages looking at the pictures and trying to, and the old advice, of course, if she doesn't have at least one full body shot, there's probably something being hidden, is usually correct. I mean, it is a little bit frustrating that you make all the effort to get out there on the date and then she turns up and you know in the first second that she's not really what she.
There's something in the acoustics where they roll in, you're just like, oh, you just know, don't you? But that can't be ascertained through photos.
Yeah, sometimes they're really good, because I've certainly been on Tinder dates, or maybe it was Bumble, but Tinder was the main one I used. I used Bumble a bit. I don't think I've ever used Hinge, or not properly. Minge, yeah. But yeah, I mean, you know, they turn up and you know that they've used old pictures or they've filtered the pictures or something, and it's a bit of a waste of time for everybody, isn't it? Really.
Yeah. There's just that's why we love the cold approach stuff, because you trade. How to frame this without sounding weird? You have this. You just have a vibe with someone in the flesh that you don't know until you see them in the flesh, and you just kind of, all these other things are going on, right? Vibe check and just your nervous system line up. You can't fake that shit on a fucking picture.
No, because you don't know what whether she's actually your type really until you meet her, because it's partly about. I mean, there's a whole range of different things, I guess, that go into it. Like her face might be pretty, but how tall is she compared to you? What's her weight like? Is it, and you try to not be crude about this, but all these little tiny things that come into it, and then you only know that when you actually meet her in person. And often on the apps, it turns out that she's not quite ticking your boxes. But then you've wasted all that time. You've got out, you've got dressed, you got out to the date and stuff, and you're going to meet somebody that I mean, look, I mean, if you match with somebody on the app and she is posting full body pictures and you can see, and she's really pretty, and you guys seem to get on, okay, great. Maybe that's going to be a more likely one. But I think a lot of guys, they're spending a lot of time on the apps. They're not actually getting that many matches. And when they are getting matches, then you've got this risk of you go out, you get all geared up for the date, and then she turns out not to be what you want. And then, of course, there's the other way around, that you turn out to be not what she wants. And so you end up getting blown off anyway.
Yeah, I mean...
Because she doesn't know. So even if she looks at your pictures and she's like, okay, this guy is decent looking, he hits my height requirements, my age requirements, whatever, he seems all right on text, so I'll meet him for the date. But then, because female attraction is based on so much more than that, and this is what we always say, maybe this is why the apps don't work very well, because even if women are just ruthlessly, filtering for looks, which they are, because that's the nature of those apps, even if you pass the looks test, if you don't pass the vibe test on the date, then she's just going to blow you off anyway. And then you're going to be disappointed, and you'll be going, oh, these apps don't work, modern women, blah, blah, blah. And actually, it was, if you'd have met her in real life, you would have had the opportunity to check her vibe, but she would also have had the opportunity to check your vibe. And if it clicked, she'd have come out on the date, and then you'd have been in a much better position.
Can you get around that by exchanging a few videos and or getting on a video call? Does that vibe check then occur, or does it still have physically in the flesh, a few inches from them, face?
Well, I think it does help, yeah. And actually, even Mr. Myron Gaines, who's going down a bit of a rabbit hole at the moment, but I mean, he would talk about always getting girls onto a video call before going on a dating app date. And it's certainly something I've done, not so much with the conventional apps, but with the grey area apps that we sometimes talk about.
Yeah, that's what I do as well.
I've got a lot more into the habit of getting them on a call first, and that does actually, it's not as good as meeting them in real life, but it does iron things out a bit, because you get more of a sense of their vibe and what they look like and how many pork pies they've been eating recently and so on.
Yeah, it does help. It probably saves about 70% of disasters.
Yeah, because that's definitely gonna, if she passes the video call test and she still wants to meet you, then yeah, okay, that you're on slightly safer ground then.
I don't even tend to do video calls. I'll just do video exchange. If the girl isn't willing to do that, that's usually a red flag in itself.
But would you say that if you meet somebody on Tinder in 2026 and then you say, oh, can we have a video call? Is that going to seem a little bit much? I think with the grey area thing, it seems more acceptable somehow. I don't know why.
Well, that's more safety and security aspects, I think, especially when women are just a bit more secure. But I wouldn't be pushing to get a girl on a video call, a grey area app. I definitely would, whether it was a normal dating app or not. I'd get them onto WhatsApp quickly. Grey area, and I'd definitely do a video exchange, because I want to see you can't fake a vibe, and you can just.
When you say video exchange, what do you mean? You send a video of you talking.
I send a video of me. I've got a stock video of me talking. Say I'm in Brazil, right? Brazilian Portuguese, and it's the same video. I look all right. I'm walking around the apartment. It's 30 seconds. I'm speaking to them, and I send it to them as a burner video, and then I send them a couple of follow-ups of me just like looking good, in random videos. Maybe there's a clip with you in a bar drinking, or it's a clip with me having a laugh with a couple of other people. But they can see from that who I am, what I'm about, and I'm like, your turn. And if they don't reciprocate immediately, I'm just like, whatever, forget it.
When you send the first video, do you just send it unannounced? You just send them this video and go, hey, listen, I'm in Brazil and blah, blah, blah.
No, yeah, I say, hey, it's me, because I get that message from the app, whatever it is. And then I message them on WhatsApp and say, hey, it's me. It's James or Jimmy or whatever. And then I send the video as a burner video, and then I let them respond to that.
Right, okay.
But it was just a way to just see what's up, because it's rare. It's a good video and I look good in it. It's like 90% of women will come back to me, but 10% just see it and they're like, fuck this. I'm not that type. That's fine. They drop out of the process, but it saves us, going down the line. So there's ways of safeguarding this stuff. I think it's if you're going to still fuck around with apps, I think you've got to do some sort of video exchange. And if you're going to do that,
that's slightly less invasive than saying, oh, can we get on a call? Which I mean, I don't know. Maybe misunderstood slightly what you said before about the grey area apps, but it seems to me a little bit more somehow acceptable in that world.
It is, but I still wouldn't personally do video calls. I'm just not. I hate unless I'm getting paid on a phone call. I don't like getting on them.
Oh, okay, fine, all right. I mean, I actually don't mind it, and usually I can acquit myself. I think I can come over quite well on the video call. So normally it doesn't damage me in any way, and it gives me a chance to check them out. But maybe that's just a personal preference.
Yeah. How long do you stay on the video call for?
2 hours. No, I'm only joking. I don't know. It depends. I mean, if the vibe is good, I'll stay on for a bit. I mean, it's no set time really. I mean, sometimes it's really quick. I don't know. Just normally have a bit of a chat, see what they're about, and if the vibe seems to be good, leave it on a high note. Not too long. 10 minutes, 15 minutes, something like that.
Going back to your earlier point of what you do on the old school Tinder dates before any of this kind of getting these ideas existed about having a video exchange or video call or whatever. You just blindly go on the Tinder date because you want to get laid. The girl rolls in, you decide, you don't just know straight away she's not really your type.
Yeah.
But then the old version of me would be like, right, how many? You have that split second moment where you think, right, I could bin this off, right? I don't have the minerals, so I'm kind of a little bit horny. I'd still fuck her anyway. Let me get myself into a submissive state via alcohol to allow this to happen. And then I'd sit there kind of just drinking heavily. And half the time I ended up taking the butt girl back and having sex with her. But you're just like, oh God, you've sold your soul to the devil because you're not really attracted to her. And you then got a hangover to boot as well.
Well, so the thing with that is because I don't drink, or I mean, any lapses aside, but I basically don't drink. And I certainly wasn't drinking when I was didn't drink when I was using Tinder. So I didn't really have that filter. So what I did a few times, and this is pretty bad actually, but I did a couple of times turn up and see the girl waiting. And you're like, oh, is that her? And you're like, oh.
Just a runner.
Yeah. Which is really bad. I don't recommend that.
Not really though. You're saving your own time. I just don't think. Yeah.
And hers as well. Because then the other side of that coin is what I've also done is the people pleasing route, which is you turn up.
It's worse. I'd say that's worse because you're sitting on the date and the girl thinks she's got half a chance, and you're just kind of humouring her because you feel a bit like rude, but it's just you just kind of think, what am I up to? So I've done that path as well. It's just not. It's not.
Yeah, or it's even worse than that if the girl's also not that into you, and then you're both sitting there going through this charade. It's like, oh, should we get another one then? Oh, okay. I think you've got to be more. I mean, well, you've got to find. I mean, this is something I need to work on. Actually, you've got to find a way to cut it off more quickly. I think just say, look, it's been great meeting you, but I just don't think this is going to work for me at the moment. So I'm going to make a move now, or something like that, I suppose.
Dating apps are a shit show, really, aren't they? They're invented for women because women obviously don't approach, but for men to rely on dating apps as like your only form of meeting.
There's a very important question here from Ding Chavez. What's a hand shandy?
Did we even mention that, or has he randomly come up with it?
I think he's just randomly come up with it.
Hand job. There he goes. Eclipse in for the kill. Dating apps just cause a lot of problems. Like they seem to be for the average guy goes, oh, great, I don't have to approach. I don't have to do the hard thing. But then you've got to think, right, every man and their dog is basically a bit of a puss who isn't willing to approach. So you're competing with every man and their dog, literally, because no men approach. So points on the list is asymmetric attention crushes confidence. A small percentage of men get the most matches, a very small percentage. The rest internalize silence as personal failure, even when it's structural, not individual. And that's the thing. Like the top small percentage of dudes, usually Jack Black guys, are getting all the matches, and then no one else is getting anything. Or you get some, or you get some old scrag ends, and it's just like fucking hell. So,
well, I mean, I will often get calls from potential clients, or we'll work with guys, and the guys are quite well put together, and maybe they're in their 30s or 40s or even late 20s or whatever, but they're often slightly more decent looking guys, established, good job, whatever, and they'll say things like oh yeah, well, so what's your dating history, who have you in what's been happening, and they'll say, well, I was kind of seeing this woman, I met this she was 48, she had a couple of kids, but you know, so there's that one, but then there's this other one I met. She's 52, and you know, she's going through the menopause, but you know, she's still quite. And I'm just thinking, what are you what are you even doing? I mean, if those were the options on the table, I'd just be at home every night reading. I mean, there's no why are you even engaging with this nonsense? You know,
I agree.
But the reason that happens, and look, that's a very horrible thing. I mean, I'm sure they're lovely women with great qualities. But if in your heart of hearts you're not really feeling it, because that's what these guys are saying. They're basically saying, I'm meeting women, I'm not really feeling it with them. But maybe she's all right. Maybe this is the best I can get. If that's the situation you're in, that is suboptimal, and that's not something you should be. You need to change up the way you're doing things. And the reason that happens, because a lot of guys, they want to date someone somewhat younger than them.
Right.
But a lot of women are going to have age filters. So, and I think this is probably where some of this stuff that we've talked about before, where guys think it's over if they're over 30, is because on the dating apps, a lot of women will have an age filter that says, well, I'll look at guys from 25 to 30 or something, and that will be their cutoff point.
Right.
So then guys think, oh, right, so that's the case in the real world as well, because women have this cutoff point. But it's not. It's just in that situation when they're being asked to filter, they will put in what they think. Okay, on paper, yeah, a guy who's about 30, that's probably about the limit for me. It doesn't mean that if you met her in a different situation, she wouldn't like you, because you can't.
We see this the whole time, don't we? On Boot Camp's Cold Approach, we see, you know, guys, you know, early 60s approaching 20-something women, and it's fine. You know, women are willing to date that, but on a dating app, they would rule you out 100%.
Yeah, indeed. Exactly. So yeah, I think that the thing about the top tier guys getting all of the attention, though, this has been talked about so much. Both anecdotally and the data suggests this is true. And why wouldn't it be? Because what else have these women got to go on? You know, you're not going to go on a dating app and think, oh, well, I'll just choose the slightly uglier one, because, I mean, why? What's the incentive? But they haven't got any. This is the thing. This is the point that guys miss, because they think, oh, women's standards are too high, or these apps, they're so unfair. But you're, by your own choice, putting yourself in an arena that judges only on looks. So what do you expect? Yes,
100% agree. And have you ever met a guy who's got a genuine worldie from a dating app?
I don't know. I mean, I did used to know. I do know actually. Still, I haven't seen him for a long time, but I do know some guys who generally are quite good with this stuff anyway, and they get quite good results from dating apps. I knew this dude who was really well put together, good looking, tall. I think he'd done a bit of male modelling. Funnily enough, he was Indian. So all you Indian guys watching this, and he used to do really, really well on Tinder in London, and get with sort of Russian models and all this kind of thing. So, but he was ticking all the boxes in terms of the looks category. So no issues there, right? He probably was actually a top 10% guy, or whatever you want to call it, you know, because he was from quite an affluent family. He was starting his own business in venture capital. I think he worked in finance. You know, he was ticking all of those boxes basically.
I can verify from traveling a lot over the last few years. I've got a good profile on Tinder, and I've traveled to places where I'm a scarce asset, like I'm in Brazil, right? I'm in Colombia, I'm in Ukraine, and still having people swipe through on my behalf just to test different things. The app matches you get are fucking shocking, and I've got a good profile. I photo well. It's all optimized, and it's still a load of bollocks. Is that true? Because I haven't used it for a few years now. Yeah. But I previously used to be. You used to sort of think, well, maybe I'll download it again, because if I'm going to this other place, it's a false paradise. It's always a complete waste of time. We always just thought it would, like, everyone always just lured in going, this time it'll work. It just no. You know, it's only like, more aggressive now because men are softer. It's like going back to picking up the drugs again, isn't it? It's like, oh no, it'll be different this time. This time it'll be different. I won't feel shit this time. Yeah. Point number 3 on the list: rejection without context is psychologically toxic. No feedback, no closure, no collaboration, just endless micro injections that trained learned helplessness. Yeah. Well, point number 4 is super important. Men start performing instead of embodying. So bios, angles, best photos, in inverted commas, scripts. Men optimize appearance signals instead of developing real-world presence or authority. And this is the big problem. And this is where the black pill guys always get it wrong. It's not just how you look. It's how you present. It's your vibe. It's your riz. It's like your ability to spin a conversation, be self-amusing, engage a woman's brain, right? Yes, it helps if you look all right. Yes, it helps if you dress well. But if you've got the personality of a turnip, the social skills of a cardboard box, you're not getting laid.
Yeah.
So you've got to develop this stuff in the flesh, which is the entire thing that me, Troy, and Les always bang on about. Get out the house and start talking to people. You have to learn to be good with people. You can't fake that shit.
Yeah, completely. I mean, if you rock up on the date, but you don't have anything, you're not bringing anything to the party.
You're fucked.
But you happen to be good looking. I mean, yeah, for sure, you're gonna get a few home runs, but I mean, a lot of the time you're gonna be fucked because she wants to feel something. What do you make her feel? She wants to feel something, not just your abs. She wants to feel some emotion, and if you're not able to generate emotions in some way, then a lot of women are just going to be like, yeah, whatever, this guy's not really, so yeah, absolutely. And there's a lot of guys, and also as well, I don't think there's this epidemic of male model type guys who are having huge difficulties in dating. I mean, the reality of the situation is most guys are sort of at medium, kind of average looking.
Right.
They're not ugly. They're decent, but they're not. They're not. I'm trying to think of a modern movie star. Timothy Chalamet. I don't know. Whatever. They're not Harry Styles level, right? So they're okay, but they're not. They're not at this point. And if they're not filling that gap with a bit of charisma or a bit of vibe, then they're going to be screwed. And it's not because they're not good looking enough. It's because they didn't have that extra bit.
Yes, I agree. What do you think of Richard Matthews' comment there at the Wassam? If you want to smash dating apps, but if you want a proper girlfriend, day game. I mean,
they're all the same. They're all the same. I mean, slightly.
Yes, this is the mistake guys make, and we're not. Yeah. I'm not disagreeing. I think dating apps need to go. They're just not. You're not getting anything from dating apps, whether smash or girlfriend. But yeah, you can't. Just because you met the girl during the day doesn't mean she doesn't watch porn. Doesn't mean she doesn't have fucking weird, orgies in clubs at night. Guys have this weird idea, purity fantasy of girl in the day means she's a good girl. Girl from an app, I can just smash it. It doesn't work like that. It's so many more variables. What stage of life is she in? Is she younger? Is she older? Is she just broken up with someone? Is she horny that day? Right? Is she just more sexual or less sexual?
Well, amazingly, mental promiscuous women also walk around in the streets.
Yeah.
You might not believe it, but they do. And you might meet one of them. So, yeah, I think there's a false dichotomy here.
There's my favourite story of Les getting rejected. Well, one of my favourite ones is he met this absolute smoke show in Playa Carmen when we're living there. And the bloke there was like very small, pretty girl. Looked a bit like the girl from Game of Thrones, but prettier. That small girl from Khaleesi or whatever she's called, or I don't know what the fucking name, but small, blonde, blue eyes, Russian. And the guy with him, he was with a client. The guy's like, do you know who that is? And Les is like, what? And it turns out she's quite a famous porn star.
Oh, right. So
he went on a date with her, and he didn't obviously tell her that he knew who she was. And he's thinking, right, we're all thinking, right, easy smash for Les. But then on the date, he tries to escalate after half an hour, puts his hand on her, and she's backs away and goes, oh, I'm not really comfortable with this. And he's seen her being made airtight online by 6 black dudes. So it's a complete head fuck for him. He's trying to escalate a bit. She's going, no, I'm not comfortable with this. I've only just met you. And it's just fucking hell. It's a completely different part of your life. Women have the ability to compartmentalize that. And it's literally her online with 6 black dudes in a garage, that kind of porn.
So that kind of smashes the argument that you meet good girls through day game.
Well, it's just funny because we look at women often and we fall for this Madonna whore fantasy of she looks really innocent and pretty. She must be a really good girl. Right? Yeah. I can't imagine her ever having sex with a bad dude. Women are still attracted to the same fundamental shit. Right? Yeah. And you put any girl outside someone with a lot of power's dressing room, Harry Styles or Justin Bieber after a gig, are a lot of them is the most good girl going to go, oh, I'm not coming in. Fuck no.
Or the dodgy drug dealer,
Yeah.
And again, I mean, it's quite revealing when you go to sort of recovery meetings, and there are obviously loads of girls there, loads of women there. Some of them are quite attractive, some of them from very good backgrounds, good girls on the surface, but the kind of crazy shit that they've been doing, because they talk about it. There's no filter here. They'll talk about this shit.
Yeah.
Girls talking, they've been paid for sex to get drugs. Oh my God, can you believe it? Very good looking girls. And there's one girl I know, pretty, looks very innocent, very sweet, very innocent. And she talks about how she used to get paid to bang in order to buy coke. I mean, that's the reality. That's the reality of what's happening out here, and you can't tell by appearances.
No, and I see it a lot with girls I date from these grey area apps in Sao Paulo. They're doing very respectable jobs. They're top lawyers or dentists or whatever, very corporate, and yet they're, this stuff they get off on. I'm present to a lot of it. It would blow your mind, right?
I think a lot of, and look, I don't judge at all. I think it's. I mean, we're all human beings, right? We've all got a darker, we've all got a shadow side, all of that stuff. It's fine, whatever. But I think that women do have. I think men would be amazed if they knew what women get up to, and I'm not saying that in a bad, judgmental way, but it's just the reality. I mean, and I think even women themselves can be quite divided in this. I think, and this is why. Because people always say, well, women will lie about their past experience and stuff like that. And yeah, they will, because obviously they don't want to put you off. But equally, I think they almost become blind to it. I think they almost shut it out. They're like, oh, yeah, but that was just that once. Oh, yeah, but I was drunk then, or I was high then. You know what I mean?
Well, the book A Billion Wicked Thoughts is very revealing because it's 500 internet searches from women. So it shows in the data, right?
Yeah.
I think, why is it though that men seem to have this weird purity fantasy, especially guys who practice day game? We've noticed it a lot. They're like, oh no, she's not that kind of girl.
Well, I mean,
weird Disney naive view of
Crinkler actually, I believe this is true. So correct me if I'm wrong, but he actually had the serious view that girls were either R selected or K selected, and so the R selected ones were the naughty ones, and then the K selected were the good, settle down and have a family ones. And he believed that they just had a different operating system. And I mean, I remember Tom saying, that's absurd. They've got the same biology. What are you talking about?
Right.
Like, no. Some of them are different. It's like, I mean, come on. I mean, they've all got the same biology. They've all got the same neurological wiring. Why do you believe that some of them are just magically different? It's ridiculous.
Is there some nuance though? Because you get some well brought up 21-year-old Russian girl in St. Petersburg. She's not necessarily going and fucking 100 men before she settles down. Maybe she has sex with 2 or 3 men. So there are cultural differences between.
I think
girl working in Ibiza who's from Colombia, right? So there's nuances within the spectrum of sexuality, isn't there?
Yeah. Okay. All right. Fair enough.
But I think your point stands, which is especially day game guys we've come across. They do a lot of them project this weird purity fantasy onto women through day game. That if I met her on the street, all bets are off. She definitely can't have a dodgy past. It's like that's just absolutely naive. That's just you've just placed where you've met the girl. You base that whole predilection around how her entire life just on where you've met her in a brightly lit coffee shop. I mean, how does that even work? But we notice it a lot. And guys still at a base level, especially in the Anglosphere, have this weird hang up around sex. They have this Madonna whore fantasy where they do think some women are, total bad girls, total sluts. Some women are good girls. They're not like that. And whether girls act on, impulses maybe determines to some degree their body count. But the reality is women are mainly attracted to the same things. They're not all going to go for the same guy, but they're attracted to the same charisma cues, the same kind of uncertainty, the tension. If you're an emotional drug dealer with a range of experiences you can take them through. Attraction is a repeatable pattern. And I think guys just want to pretend that, oh no, this girl's special. It was just my game that got this girl into a relationship. She'll never go with anyone else. And it's just naive. We're just fucking animals.
But also, I think there's a fundamental problem with the framing of it. Their thinking is also flawed because they are traditionalists, and so they are looking for something very specific. So it's very important to them that, but this is a good God-fearing woman who could be a good wife and mother one day. All of that stuff seems to be very important to those people. But why would it be? I mean, and then that comes back to what you're looking for. Okay, if you are actually looking for that, then right, maybe you get a pass. But if you're not, and a lot of people aren't, particularly when they're starting out in this stuff, if you're looking for something more casual, none of that stuff matters.
No.
And also, and also, my approach to this has always been, okay, I'm going to meet her. I'm going to see if I'm attracted to her. We're going to see if things progress. I'm going to learn a bit more about her, and then I'm going to figure out, okay, is this going to be a serious relationship or not? Rather than coming at it the other way around, like, right, I'm on the wife hunt. I'm on the fucking wife hunt. I'm looking for that good, and all that bollocks. And it's like, then your framing is wrong. The way that your modus operandi is inherently wrong from the start.
Yeah.
Because you're going in with an expectation of this person, rather than just meeting people, having fun, and then thinking, okay, what am I going to do with this situation? Because I could meet somebody. Look, I'm not ruling out marriage. Well, maybe marriage is a tricky one, but I'm not ruling out long-term relationships. I'm not ruling out even cohabitation. It's just that you meet the person, and then from that you see, okay, could this be that, or is it not appropriate for it to be that?
That's a better way to view reality. But that being said, if you met a girl, you really vibe with her, she's ticking all the boxes, and you're kind of in that place where, like, you know what, I could see this going somewhere, but then you found out she'd set with 500 blokes. Would that not put you off slightly?
Yeah, I think of course it would. Of course it would.
I think for longevity, we definitely want low body count women because they're less likely to cheat on us and they value us slightly more. I don't think there's any harm in having that as a predilection for a longer term gig. But I think you're right. I think you just want to play each case as they come. And the reality of most guys going out to do this stuff is they just want to get laid. They shouldn't really be thinking too far ahead, actually, unless they've done their time in the trenches and they're like actually thinking, I want to be.
What about just to go on just to take it down a slightly different avenue for a second? What about those guys who are literally like, no, I'm paying my boots up. I do want to get married now.
Yeah.
So I'm actively looking for that. I mean, I personally, but this is just me because I'm a weirdo and I'm an avoidant. But for me, I just think that framing is wrong.
It's putting a lot of.
I don't really want that stuff.
The law of detachment is not in play, right? The law of detachment states the more you need something, the more you're going to push it away. So by even stating that as a goal, and then there was a whole movement around Crinkler doing it. Where other guys were like, "Great idea, I'm going to quit my job and do that." It's like you're putting so much pressure, and I'm not saying don't dedicate time to it. You should probably go to a place like Russia or Ukraine where women are more family centric and look for women. But to quit your entire job, put your entire life on hold to do that. I mean, talk about pedestalizing the woman before you've even met her.
Well, wasn't Broody doing that for a while?
I think so. I mean, to be fair to Broody, he has dated, the girls he dates tend to be quite feminine, attractive, low body count women. So he's able to select correctly from the pool. I mean, Crinkler, maybe it's because he was a public figure and he decided he was like, right, I've got to announce it to my troops, But it's putting a lot of pressure on the thing, isn't it? It's like saying to yourself, right, in today's day game session, I've got to go out and get laid. You're putting so much pressure on yourself. Why not just not say it and just see what happens?
Yeah.
We're really saying, take the pressure off yourself, I guess. Okay, point number 5. Scarcity mindset becomes permanent. Inconsistent matches train men to overvalue attention, chase crumbs, and tolerate disrespect they never accept offline. That's true, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah, it is. But is that just related to dating apps, or could that be related to day game as well? But the reality is most people, including most people watching this stream, are not going out and approaching as much as they're swiping. Because most people, you could sit there on the toilet and swipe 100 times. Most people aren't also going out and doing 100 approaches. So in reality, that same structural issue could also exist in if you're doing day game or if you're doing game in real life consistently. Because if you're getting a lot of people, you're talking to a lot of people, but only a few of them are giving you their number and stuff, then you might put overemphasis on those opportunities as well. But because let's be real, the reality is most people are just doing it on their phone. As much as we try and tell them not to do otherwise. So yeah, you're probably not going to get that many matches unless you happen to be an outlier in some way, and then you are going to overemphasize those ones. And I think that is the worst place to be as a guy. You kind of match with some girl, you've been talking to her a bit on WhatsApp, and then she disappears, and then you're going to, oh, what happened? What did I do wrong? Oh my god, it's a bit pathetic, isn't it?
Serious question from Eclipse, Mr. Francis.
Is it that one?
Yeah. What would your dating advice be for a non-verbal, wheelchair-bound, low-functioning autistic guy who can only communicate via an iPad or tablet? So, I guess in brackets, think Stephen Hawking. Very extreme guys can be like that. I mean, how is that a serious question? And also, why are you worrying about this bollocks? Why are you not Eclipse 9867A, getting out the fucking house and actually doing some approaching? You shouldn't be.
I think he's trolling. I think he's trolling. But did you see that? Did you see that meme, that clip I sent you? For some reason, all those guys at that Spanish festival dressed as Stephen.
Yes, all dressed as Stephen Hawking, singing as some Spanish dude. Bizarre, isn't it?
I don't know why they did that, but well, I mean, the thing is, there are actually examples of outliers who have, attracted very, decent women, and they've got married. I mean, there are famous examples of influencers like that, aren't there?
I quite like looking at those and sending those clients, because whenever guys are dooming and glooming about their situation, I send them something like that, and they kind of shut the fuck up. They're like, oh well, okay. Yeah. They don't really know what to say, because I think the brain loves to doom and gloom our little particular situation. Actually, the hard thing to do is just walk out of the house and take action, but that's what needs to be done ultimately.
Yeah. Well, if this guy can't speak, then he's going to have to work on some kind of text game. It's going to be like.
Well, I don't think it's him he's talking about. He's talking about.
No. But I mean, the guy in this example. But yeah, I mean, look, unless that happens to be you, then it's kind of irrelevant, isn't it?
If I was in that position, what would I actually do? I'd probably try and make a fuck ton of money online somehow, and then just.
Well, Stephen Hawking was married, wasn't he? And
his wife horribly abused him. I think left him out in the sun and stuff to bake. There are all these stories.
There's that movie about him, isn't there, which I haven't seen yet.
Oh, with the English actor, yeah. I haven't watched that yet. Number 5, scarcity mindset becomes permanent. Oh, no, we've done that. Number 6, choice paralysis rewards disposability. When options feel finite, people treat each other as disposable. Men absorb this as I'm replaceable, which erodes self-worth. But is that not just a symptom of the entirety of the modern dating market?
Well, I think it is, but because everyone's got access to these platforms, and for women, of course, the dating apps, but also Instagram. I mean, I talked to a girl earlier, and she sent me screenshots of all the dudes who are messaging her, and it's all, she said, I'm getting messaged by these, but largely quite a lot of Indian guys, quite a few Arabic guys, and some others as well. But she just said, look, it's just like this constantly, and there's all these,
Women are essentially completely in the driving seat with any form of online dating, aren't they?
Yeah. And she said my female friends are on, obviously they're on Instagram as well, and it's the same for them. So what you're saying is this disposability the case across dating? And yes, it is, but largely because these women have also got access to that. So even if you stopped her in the street, yeah, you're a contender, but she's also got all of that going on in her phone. So for her, it seems infinite.
So to bring it full circle, are we fucked dating-wise as men in 15, 20 years?
Well, we'll be dead.
Yes. So
we're okay. But for everybody else, for the 73 people who are currently on here, well, I mean, look, there are people who say that it's dead now, and I just don't. That's just not my reality. That's not the world that I live in. Right. And so I think that there will still be ways for, look, people are still going to want to get together unless.
Look, Cold Approach hasn't dropped off since Instagram, all these dating apps has happened. Every year that goes past, we still get results from Cold Approach.
Yeah. So in fact, if anything, it probably gets better because fewer people are doing it. So there's less competition.
Stand out. You really fucking stand out. We were doing this at a time before social media blew up, 2012. That was the glory day. And now it's been the social media Leviathan for the last 15 years. But now it's coming back to basically still stand out by doing Cold Approach. Online.
Yeah, so this guy says approaching women on the street is silly considering women get like 100 matches on their phone. Well, I mean, for a start, we're not just talking about on the street, right? We're talking about meeting people in real life in all situations. So etc. But even parking that, yeah, maybe they do get 100 matches. But this girl that I was talking to sent me a screenshot of 100 guys chasing her in her DMs, and she's not interested in any of them because they're all crap. So that's the other problem with this. there's a sense of, oh, it's infinite, you know, there's all these people out there. But actually, women have big problem on the apps as well, because a lot of the attention they get is from guys who are substandard.
Yes. Completely agree.
So the infinite dating pool idea is an illusion, really, even for women.
What is the advice then we would give? Just guys should get on a plane, go somewhere they find women attractive, where they're more attractive, and get off the apps and go and talk to people in real life.
Well, I think you have to ruthlessly practice these social skills so that you can become somebody who's effective in real life, right? Because even if you do manage to scrounge a date finally off Tinder and then you fumble it because you come across, you know, you just don't come across very well, or there's not really any spark there or whatever. I mean, you've got to, it always comes back to the social skills, because whether you're listening to us, you're, yeah, that's a load of nonsense, I'm still going to use the apps, fine, but you're still going to have to meet these women in real life, okay? So you're still going to have to learn those skills. And if you do take what we're saying on board, you could think, well, actually, I can step outside the matrix and I can actually go and have a conversation with somebody. And if you do that, then you're massively expanding your opportunities, you know?
And there's a certain beauty to it if you can just fall in love with the game, not the girl, and just actually enjoy talking to people, saying random comments, triggering attacks, you talk about it, practicing attraction constantly, right? Being playful and having fun with people. That in itself brings a host of opportunities, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Next on the roster, validation is externalized. Men outsource confidence to an algorithm. When that drops, self-belief drops. That's psychological dependence. I'd agree with that. You know, and it's also quite weak. Like, say you've got a nice little Tinder set up, you know, in your little, you know, wherever you're living in London, right? You get a few matches and you bag a few birds. As soon as you go out of that ecosystem you've set up there, you're fucked. Right? Being reliant on an algorithm, on an app that you pay for to date, as arguably one of the most important decisions you can make as a human being, who you spend your time with in a sexual context, is incredibly fragile. Whereas if you develop a skill set where you can get off, you know we can fly anywhere in the world, get off the plane, and yeah, we'll have some rejection, we'll take some getting used to the place, but within a week or two, we'll have a few dates lined up with decent looking women in their prime from a skill set we've learned and cultivated. That's empowering, right?
Well,
it makes it anti-fragile.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's ironic because I've been talking quite a lot recently in my content about the dating apocalypse and, oh, you know, it's all falling apart and all of this, and that's not disingenuous, because that does seem to be the case for a lot of guys, right? And there's a lot of guys, if you post something like that, a lot of guys will put in the comments, will be like, yeah, you're right, and we see all these reports about, you know, singledom and all of this stuff. For me personally, though, I can comment on that stuff, but for me personally, that's just not my reality. Like, I don't have any worries about dating at all. And how can that be the case if I'm some 51-year-old random dude? Like, how can it be the case that I'm sitting here, I'm talking to various different girls, I'm not seeing anybody at the moment because I'm focusing on work and I'm, you know, whatever, I'm not in the space for that. But it's like, you know, how could it be okay for me and it's not for all these other guys? There must be something that I'm doing that they're not doing. You know?
Yeah, I agree. It's not the reality.
Also, though, I think also as well, it comes down to how much you want it. And this is a funny topic, isn't it? Because you do have to want it to some extent. Because we always say you've got to have a very strong why if you're going to get good with this.
Most guys don't really seem to want it enough, do they?
Yeah. But you've also kind of got to not want it at the same time. I know we always smoke and mirrors this stuff, don't we? There's always sort of two sides to every coin. But you've got to have strong motivation to get good with social skills. But you've also got to be outcome independent as well. You know?
Yes. Agreed. Point number 8, sexual polarity is flattened. Swiping is passive. Masculine initiation becomes permission seeking. The hunt turns into a wait to be chosen. It's true. Women have all the power on the dating apps, right?
That's true.
It's kind of emasculating. You're saying you respect yourself as an alpha dude. You see yourself as an alpha dude. All you can do is do this on a phone and hope for the best.
Yeah.
That I was going to drop into your lap. It's incredibly emasculating. And I know guys that are quite alpha in their, you know, day-to-day job, their managers, as CEOs, whatever, maybe they've been in the military. But if you really think about that, you're just relying on some company to set you up with hopefully the girl of your dream. It's pathetic, right?
It is a little bit. I think that's why I don't like it.
Weak. It's fucking weak. Let's be honest.
Yeah,
right?
I think that's why one of the reasons why I don't like the apps, because it forces you into a slightly demeaning position. Because yeah, you can pimp your photographs. We do help guys with this stuff actually. You can make your photos look really good. You can optimize your bio, and all of that's great. And you should be doing that if you're on these apps or even on Instagram as well. But fundamentally, on the apps, you're putting yourself in a position to be chosen. You're kind of putting all these pictures up, and you're like, all right, fingers crossed. Oh, I hope somebody likes me. I hope she likes me.
It's pathetic, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
And women, look, let's be honest, women reward bold action. And a girl that meets you on a dating app automatically is not thinking this guy's a stud, right? You've got to then prove it on the date that you're this guy. Again, you're having to prove yourself. That's not how it should be. It's not the right way.
I mean, you know, we always go back to the same example, but can you imagine James Bond on an app? He's not going to be like, oh, hang on a minute, Em. I've just got to answer to this Tinder message because hopefully I'm going to meet this girl later if she doesn't flake on me. I mean, it's just there's a reason why we never saw Daniel Craig's James Bond on using the apps on all the movies he did, because it would just be fucking pathetic. It would just completely puncture the archetype, wouldn't it?
100%. So yeah, there is some weakness to it. I agree massively. Number 9, men learn to avoid risk. Why approach, lead, or flirt when rejection is constant and abstract? Apps train avoidance instead of courage. I agree with that. We meet so many guys who are completely reliant on apps, not really getting much result. And what it does, it makes you way softer socially in real life. Right? And guys are saying here, you know, this guy Lolbird's going, get off the, you know, we've heard this before. Yeah, we're spousing the same bollocks because men have still got the same problems. Hooked on apps, not getting the results they want with dating. It's like, what's the solution?
Yeah.
You've got to get out and speak to people.
Yeah.
Learn to fucking interact with the opposite sex. It's how we do it for millions of years.
Well, you know, he can say, we've heard all this before. Well, great, fine, we'll log off then. But the reality is, because we actually teach guys, we deal with this stuff at the coalface. And the truth of the matter is that a lot of the guys that we work with don't really get this stuff. Okay.
No.
So unfortunately, the message needs to be repeated.
Yes. We've got a question from LeVampire12 here. What's up, Tusk? I know the Slavic type is your preferred type. Is it? Okay, thanks for telling me. So why spend, I think you meant to say, why spend 90% of your energy in South America to the point of learning Portuguese and Spanish? That question doesn't even make sense, to be honest. I think
he means why are you spending more time in Eastern Europe, I guess.
I spend half the year in Eastern Europe when it's European summer, but I don't like cold winter months. So then when in European winter, I come to Latin America and it's the Latin American summer for 6 months. And I don't discriminate. I like Brazilian women, I like Colombian, I like Polish, I like Ukrainian, I like Russian. I don't have a particular, it must be Slavic type at all. That's nonsense. And the reason to learn, obviously, Portuguese if I'm in Brazil is because it adds value to your ability to live here and adds value to the quality of your life and dating. Same with Spanish. I love the way he's telling me what my type is, though. LeVampire12. I know Slavic is your preferred type. How dare you go in?
Well, I mean, you'd be 12 foot under snow at the moment.
Is it minus 30 or something in Siberia?
In Poland, it is, yeah.
Number 10, most important point, or one of the most important. You forget what you're actually worth. Men conflate app results with real world value. That's core damage. And I agree, you know, you're logging a load of rejections and you internalize that as I'm not worthy.
Well, the only slight devil's advocate on that is, are the rejections a little bit less painful? Because if you swipe 100 times and you only get 3 matches, I mean, you sort of forget about the ones who haven't swiped right on you, don't you?
And if you do 100 approaches in real life, you get only 3 acceptances. Yeah, but you're building so many other things alongside that. As long as you're actually learning smart, you know, the ability to deal with rejection, the ability to actually become better at this stuff. It's the same. Yeah.
Actually saying that though, I mean, actually my point is maybe flawed because of course, actually there are guys who are on the apps for weeks and months and they're getting like 1 match in a month or something. And yeah, of course they are dispirited by that because you think, well, I put myself out there and I'm getting nothing back. So yeah, I guess it may be the individual rejection of, well, you know, if you see a particularly cute girl and you really like her profile and then she doesn't swipe on you, that's maybe stings a little bit. But in aggregate, all of those rejections over a period of time is gonna weigh heavy on you.
100%. Bongo McGee says, I met 101 women from dating apps in London in 2025. So I have to defend dating apps a bit. You can meet some really amazing people. I think they are worth doing in addition.
I talk to people in London, but approaching women different. It's much harder, too much moving parts. I've lost his first comment there, unfortunately.
You go 2 up from where you're highlighted, it's there.
I really have to.
Yeah. So he said before that, you don't need to scroll back, but he said I met 100 women on dating apps in 2025. That's fine if they're smoke shows, but if you're just piling up buffaloes for your big game hunting collection, it's also, why bother, right? Quality over quantity.
Well, I mean, I think, look, I mean, if his experience is great on the apps, that's brilliant, fine. But it's not mirrored by a lot of other guys.
Most men, 99% of clients we get in are on dating apps not getting any results. And that's triggered to be like, right, you've got to go and speak to people in real life. So if you're the outlier and you're actually getting decent results from dating apps, I mean, you're quite a horny motherfucker if you had 100 dates from dating apps in 2025. It's impressive.
Yeah. But it's interesting that his is the only comment that's come through. We've had a number of chats coming through, and his is the only chat that's saying actually the dating apps are great. Because if what we were saying was completely wrong, surely the whole chat will be saying this is bollocks. I'm having an amazing time using the apps, and nobody else is saying that.
But there are always outliers. So if you've actually killing it on the dating apps, fair play to you. If it works.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's like I mentioned. I mean, I've known guys. I've also known guys, and I did fine on the apps, but that was a long time ago. I think the situation has changed quite a lot since then. I haven't been back on them mainly through choice since then, but I have known guys who've done really well on the apps, and yeah, great, that's brilliant.
He's clarified it here. He said, I would say 8 out of 10 I was attracted to in real life, and 1 out of 10 would blow you away attractive, including models, etc.
Okay, well, that's not a bad figure, is it?
So he's saying 8 out of 10 dates he's having on the apps he's attracted to them.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's positive. And if it's working for you, respect the hustle. Yeah. Whatever hustle works for you, if it genuinely works for you, you can be an outlier. We're not saying you have to learn cold approach. If you're actually killing it, if you have 100 dates with hot girls from apps in each year, and you're actually enjoying that and you're getting success from that, long may that continue. You're an outlier to the process.
He said he optimized his profile. It's a bit further down.
Okay.
Which is great, but you must be. I'm assuming that at least some of these dates were successful, right? So he must also have some in-person skills as well, because that's the other side of the coin with this, isn't it? Because like we said before, optimize your profile, great, but you've still got to have a certain magnetism when you actually meet them on the day.
Yes, I would agree.
He's obviously got that as well, so fine.
And so what are the concluding thoughts we have on this topic?
Get off the apps unless you are Bongo McKee. No, I think look, I mean, if the apps work for you, great. I mean, my general take on this is I don't think there's any harm in having the apps going in the background. And if you meet somebody, great. If you don't, you don't. But I do think that the majority of people need to be out and practicing social skills. Because even if you are going to meet people on the apps, you've still got to meet them in real life. And you need to develop the skill set to do that effectively. So I don't think there's any way around it, really.
It seems to be triggering a lot of people, this stream. It's quite interesting. We've got
a whole bunch of comments coming through. What are they saying?
Showpiece. If you put his one on screen, Showpiece.
Oh, this one.
Yeah, I'm a literal 6'2" bodybuilder chap with an optimized profile. The app's throttle you so you can't get matched even if you pay. What else can you do? I mean, that is representative of a lot of the clients we see, their experiences. And to be honest, my own experience, I worked with a company, had it optimized because I wanted to trial it and promote the company. And I must say, without going into too much into detail, I haven't been overly impressed. And I've been traveling to places where I'm a very hot asset. Places like Ukraine, Russia, Brazil, Colombia with an optimized profile, and it's still pretty average if I'm being fucking honest. So I think there's some leverage on Instagram. If you understand how to hustle on Instagram, that could be a digital support thing for you. Grey area apps, I think, are underrated. Too. But it's got to be cold approach mostly. I think that's the way forward.
Some of the comments are quite funny.
Some of the titles are hilarious. Wheat Waffles gave me a 7 out of 10 racy, and I'm 6'2" and in shape, so I'm decent, but I'm not Giga Joe. Look, with all due respect to my I'm not sure he is allowed to rate people because he's not even particularly. He's hardly a fucking, oil painting himself, is he?
He's not, and this stuff is not an exact science.
No, because we know facially not very attractive men who absolutely kill it because they've got presence, they've got charisma, they look a bit mean, right? And so it's not just the angle of your nose to your. It's just nonsense, right? It's nonsense.
I mean, is that the same bodybuilder guy?
No.
Oh.
No. The Bongo McGee was saying that Wheat Waffles racing. The guy who got 101 dates in 2025.
Oh.
Got weights rated 7 out of 10 by Wheat Waffles.
Okay. Well, yeah. I don't know.
Well, as usual, lads.
Why did you give money to some random bloke on the internet to tell you how good looking you are? I mean, that seems.
I mean, I guess you're hoping that Wheat Waffles now dyes his hair brown because he thinks girls don't like gingers. News from the front line, hot off the press. In 100 years, there'll be a golden phallus in every city honouring Tusk and the team. I hope there's not, quite frankly.
Well, there won't, will there? There won't, unless I mean, woke culture will have to be radically dismantled for that to happen.
Clavicular is the god of face ratings. All hell, Clavicular Karos, the Greek.
I got the hammer.
I mean, oh man, you know what?
That clip that you sent me on Fresh and Fit was maybe it's a little bit different male to female, but that clip you sent me of Clavicular on Fresh and Fit was quite instructive because he was making an assessment of that girl's face, and he was basically saying, you need to have jaw surgery to be human tier. I guess he was kind of joking a little bit, but the truth is she was quite cute.
Yeah, I thought so as well.
And it wasn't like actually for Fresh and Fit, where the standards are not very high. Let's put it like that. She was actually quite cute. She looked in quite good shape. I mean, she was pretty. She looked. So maybe they're going to say, well, women are much more critical than men are. But that to me was sort of another piece of proof that the whole black pill thing is just misplaced. Because the reality is, she was an attractive girl. And yeah, maybe what he was saying was correct, but it doesn't fucking matter. Because even with her attractiveness comes from more than just the shape of her jaw. Her attractiveness wasn't like her hair, how her shoulders looked. Her shoulders look quite slim. There's a whole load of other stuff going on there, which sort of, you've got to look at the whole picture,
Yeah, I agree. I mean, this for whatever reason, talking about dating apps just deflates me slightly because it's such a depressing way of having to live your life, isn't it?
Well,
yeah,
even if you take all of the problems out of it and just park them to one side, the fact that you're uploading photographs to a fucking app and swiping through people on a phone is just a depressing thing, isn't it? It's just a very depressing.
And you're outsourcing the decision to hopefully, as most men do, hopefully meet the girl of your dreams, potentially have kids with her. You're outsourcing that to a fucking algorithm and just crossing your fingers hoping for the best. It's not very masculine. What happened to the days of seizing the day and going out and making it happen?
Yeah,
right? I don't know. It's just like an interesting topic. I think it's a cop out. It's the results I've had have always been very average, and I've messed around with it a lot because our whole job is to try and optimize the dating lives of our clients, right? So for years I've tried different things, what works, what doesn't. It's not the way to go. It's not the way to go. Shaka, you're just not very attractive, regardless of whether I am or not. I mean, the thousands and thousands of guys we worked with all say it's a complete shit show.
Yeah, I mean, I've never met a guy who said I get better results on dating apps than I do in real life.
No.
And that must tell a story in itself. I mean, maybe those guys exist, but I doubt it. Because even a guy, if there's a guy who's absolutely smashing it on dating apps, he's getting amazing results on Tinder. If he did some approaching, I mean, he would be God, I would imagine, right? I mean, because every other guy that we've met, without exception, always says that the best results they've ever got has been through meeting people in real life.
Yeah. Yeah. And also, if we think about our own lives, right, where the best relationships we've had and experiences we've had, it's all been through dating women in real life as well. Meeting women in random scenarios and having connection with them, right? So make it happen, lads. Get out the house and start speaking to people.
Exactly.
The comments are flying in, aren't they, about this topic? We don't plan to do this again, any more dating app stuff, because it's just depressing. But God, unfortunately, it seems to be a very discursive area.
Your Instagram's gone off.
Oh, it's flailed off, is it?
Yeah.
Weird, because it still says people are joined. If I look on the thing,
I don't know. It's just, yeah, I've got a.
It still has it up as end live video.
Okay. Well. Yeah. So
I don't think it's StreamYard in real time. I think that's the problem.
So anyway, anything further to add on that then?
Not really. Apart from this topic has left me quite empty and depressed.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of dating apps. I just think they're total fucking. And look, there's just some bloke trying to make money or a company trying to make money. They haven't got your interests at heart. You cannot say that they've got your best interests at heart. They just want to make a quick shekel off your subscription, and that's it.
So Bongo McKee says, I rarely see girls who are my type in public. I mean,
so you need to go to places where there's more hot girls.
Yeah, I think that's a bit of a cope, to be honest, because we do get guys who say this kind of thing, and it's like nobody really has such a niche specific type that they don't see at least a few of them. I mean, unless you live in some little town or something. I mean, I don't really buy it. Because I'll walk around London and I'll normally see a couple or two or three, decently attractive women that I could potentially be with if I was minded to do so. I don't entirely buy that you're never seeing anybody. I think it could be a bit of a cope.
If you are in a place where you don't find the women particularly attractive or the culture isn't very good for dating, take some trips overseas, potentially move, or just go to environments where they're more stacked with hot girls. I mean, you've got to be proactive with this stuff. You can't just walk out in the street and go, oh, there's no hot girls, right? Cold approach isn't for me. You've got to be proactive with it.
Yeah.
Anything in life worth attaining, you have to work for a bit. So you have to think resourcefully, how do I fix this problem?
What do you guys think of Vegas? Terrible.
Yeah, it's terrible. Completely overrated, actually, I think.
Dreadful.
Have you been, Mr. Francois?
Oh yeah, I've been a few times. I met that porn star there.
Did you stay in the casinos or?
Oh, man, I stayed in the Encore the first time I went there.
That's a good place, isn't it? Good hotel. I mean, look, it's a spectacular place just because it's very interesting, as lots of parts of the world are. But it's not the dating paradise. I think it's cracked up to me by any means.
No. Anything else? God, there's so many comments coming through.
I know. It's going off. I can't believe how popular this title is.
US is a good country. It's a very social country.
Where in London do you think is good? Battersea Park, Farmers Market, bookshops. I mean, I used to do a lot of day game around
Oxford Street.
Liverpool Street Station for me was a personal hotspot. I used to go there because I used to work nearby. I used to go there at lunch. That was good.
Yeah.
Post-work rush, Liverpool Street Station, Holborn around there was good. London Bridge, always produces, Borough Market, places like that. South Kent, Chelsea, Soho. I mean, you can walk anywhere in London. I used to just go around on the London tube map and just get off at random stops and have a walk around and approach people.
Did you ever do High Barnet?
I think I did. I think I had this thing of going to the edge of the line sometimes and just Elephant and Castle.
Cricklewood.
Some of the DLR stops, Canary Wharf DLR stops were pretty good. Mud Chute.
I gave it one up the Mud Chute.
As much as I slag off London, as much as I'm like, okay, I like to travel and get out of it. I've never not seen decent women if I just walk around large patches of central London.
Yeah, I mean, all areas. I mean, actually, to that point though, I would say sort of Chelsea and stuff is quite good actually. If you want to get off
And no one's approaching in London. There was a stage where people were actually approaching a bit on Oxford Street. Now no one is approaching. So you can pretty much roam around and no one approaches. You're not going to have this, I've had this 3 times a day routine. It's not going to happen, you know.
He's asked about New Cross. Yeah. He's asked a couple of times about Russia, second tier cities. Yeah, fantastic. Ekaterinburg, really, really good.
Yeah, it's an awesome place.
Yeah. Awesome place. In saying that, though, the one learning from that trip was that we thought that our scarcity would go through the roof and they would be blown away by us in these smaller cities, and they kind of weren't, were they?
No, they were more blown away in Moscow and St. Petersburg, weren't they?
Yeah, because we went to Kazan, which is the Muslim city, and there's big Muslim population there, and others as well, Christians.
I think we fucked that up accidentally though, because I think university wasn't in, and I think it's a big university city.
Yeah.
So during term time, probably.
It was quite marked though, wasn't it? Because in Moscow, you could speak to a woman and say, "Oh, I'm from London." She's like, "Oh, London, oh, it's amazing, that's amazing." And in Kazan, they just didn't give a monkeys. They were just like, "Oh, yeah, what the fuck are you doing here?"
And sometimes go to places that are so small town, in inverted commas, they don't care that you're a foreigner. Yeah. They actually think it's weird. But,
I think the difference is that the women in Moscow and St. Petersburg, they're more aspirational. Like, they probably have more opportunity to travel, they're better educated, and they're just like, oh, right, okay, cool, I'd love to go there one day. And it's an actual genuine possibility. It's not just a girl in some small town and she's never going to leave, realistically. So it's just like, oh, yeah, okay, whatever. You know?
I mean, I'd love to go back to Russia. To be honest, my plan this summer is potentially just get a tourist visa and go over for 3 months. So,
yeah.
It's an awesome place.
Yeah, that was, those trips there at that time was so fantastic. I mean, it's such an interesting place.
They were so good, weren't they? You know, us charging around doing those ridiculous streams, and then that Steve Jabber lookalike following us.
Yeah,
probably FB or something.
Yeah,
I'd like. Russia's a fantastic place. There's a certain magic to it. It's hard to explain if you haven't been, but highly recommend it.
The whole Lux Max's obsessors are completely lost. They are kids that don't understand
value of data in social skills. I wouldn't disagree. As much as this stream's popping off, I think we're going to call it a day here, and we'll reconvene tomorrow.
Yeah, cool. All right, guys. If you want to forget all this nonsense and actually improve your dating skills, as fun as it is to talk about this stuff, we've got a course which is open now, Approach Accelerator, which will be starting in February. We're open for students now. We've got a few places left. So email us, troy@realtroyfrancis.com or info@jamestuss.com. And also email us if you want to join us in Rio from the 13th of Feb through to the 21st of Feb. Or anywhere else, really. Drop us an email if you're interested in coaching. Again, info@jamestuss.com or troy@realtroyfrancis.com. Put your WhatsApp details and we'll get on a call. That's it. Bye.